Hypocrisy is rampant in today's world. People preach one thing and practice another. It's a facade many hide behind, a mask of righteousness that masks their true intentions. But Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers offer a powerful weapon against hypocrisy, a weapon that doesn't require confrontation or anger. It is subtle, quiet, and transformative in its ability to expose the truth. This weapon lies in self-awareness and in developing inner virtue. When you lead by example with honesty and integrity, the hypocrites in your life can no longer uphold their facade. They might deflect or try to deceive, but your unchanging commitment to virtue shows up their contradictions. Use this Stoic weapon and watch how those who preach one thing yet live another collapse under the burden of their hypocrisy. Understanding hypocrisy in modern society. Hypocrisy lives in a world where appearances oftentimes take the place of substance, and image is more valuable than integrity. In today's society, everyone is constantly exposed to pressures of conformity, to portray a polished image of themselves, even if it doesn't align with their true feelings and actions. Whether it's social media, politics, or corporate culture, many are trained to put up a front, no matter how disparate their words may be from their actions. Stoics such as Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus consider that true virtue cannot be separated from honesty and authenticity. For them, hypocrisy is not just a moral weakness, but a corrupting force that ruins the soul. Virtue for them was to live according to one's principles without pretense or falsehood. In modern society, it is easy to see oneself behave in ways that contradict the values one holds on to in order to be accepted or liked. This is because every individual wants to be successful, loved, or have no conflict. Most people hide their true selves behind a mask, which will create a self-deception versus living in truth and meaning. The Stoic way teaches us to live by our values, eliminate contradictions that breed inner conflict, and to live truthfully regardless of what's being thrust upon us from the outside. Then and only then will we be free from hypocrisy. The Stoic weapon: self-examination and virtue. The Stoic weapon against hypocrisy is not confrontation, but self-examination. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself many times to reflect on his actions and thoughts to make sure they aligned with his values. Self-reflection, or examination of conscience, was the central practice of Stoicism because it revealed the truth about one's integrity. Stoics believed that our thoughts, words, and deeds must be in harmony to live a virtuous life. Hypocrisy arises when there is a disconnect between what we say and what we do. Marcus Aurelius often asked himself if he was living in accordance with his moral principles or if he was merely putting on a mask for others to see. This constant self-assessment served as a safeguard against inconsistency. The focus on personal integrity eliminates the root of hypocrisy: self-deception. Once we commit ourselves to truth and virtue, we no longer have to present a false version of ourselves. There is no difference between our public persona and our private self, because both are founded on the same moral foundation. Self-reflection forces one to ask questions of self, honestly. Are we living the truth as we always would? Do our behaviors correlate with our words? Through answering and changing, hypocrisy becomes impossible to maintain. And Stoics teach us that the true power comes in learning to control the inner world, where integrity and virtue keep us from having pretenses. The strength of separation. Hypocrites thrive on emotional manipulation, seeking to provoke reactions and gain external validation. They depend on the emotional responses of others to maintain their facade. The Stoic weapon of detachment, however, offers a powerful defense. By detaching yourself emotionally from external events and other people's behavior, you can observe hypocrisy without being affected by it, Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, quite often reminded himself to be in control and not swept away by the emotional rushes of other people. Detachment has nothing to do with being indifferent or disconnected from life. It relates to not letting yourself be emotionally disturbed by the hypocritical acts of others. By keeping your emotions neutral, you become clear-headed with the logic of inconsistency and lies that pour out through these individuals. It allows you to hold on to your morals and not be moved by the actions or opinions of others. Hypocrites often try to provoke anger, guilt, or shame to keep their false narratives alive. With Stoic detachment, you're no longer a fall guy to these emotional manipulations. You just observe, and nothing gets to you. This is the level of emotional resilience which gives you power, the power to maintain your integrity and respond in a calm, measured way. Detachment creates a space between stimulus and response, so you can act according to your values rather than react impulsively. You rise above hypocrisy and preserve your peace while navigating the complexities of modern society by choosing how to engage. Living by example, how to expose hypocrisy. Marcus Aurelius knew that hypocrisy is quite clearly revealed not by argument or confrontation, but through the integrity of a life lived without compromise. He didn't waste time pointing out the contradictions of others, but practiced and maintained within himself the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Doing so, he would illuminate such defects in others' actions. Living consistently in thoughts, words, and actions, Marcus showed how true virtue will speak for itself and needs no performance. When you are living authentically with your values, your actions will be the greatest testimony to your integrity. Hypocrites will always depend on inconsistency and pretense to preserve their false image. Your constant adherence to virtue acts as a mirror, reflecting their contradictions without one word having to be spoken. It makes them face the gap between what they say and what they do, without your pointing it out. The virtue of Stoicism shines light on the truth subtle, yet powerful. It is not a matter of accusing others or asking for praise, but of being an example. This quiet form of resistance unmasks hypocrisy much better than any public confrontation. Living with authenticity opens up space in which hypocrisy cannot thrive. The Stoics taught that the greatest influence comes not from trying to change others, but from being the change yourself. Living by example neutralizes hypocrites, making their actions transparent without requiring you to engage in conflict. It's a transformative power, one that stems from true internal strength. Using the Stoic weapon, confrontation without anger. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in maintaining inner peace, even in the face of hypocrisy. The Stoic weapon against falsehood is not confrontation fueled by anger, but reason and composure. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly emphasized that we must be governed by our rational minds, not by emotions. When confronted with hypocrisy, it's easy to succumb to frustration or resentment, but this only disrupts our own peace and feeds into the cycle of conflict. The Stoic way of dealing with hypocrisy is in calm reflection and measured response. We must stop and reflect, rather than acting on impulse or even out of indignation. By knowing that hypocrisy is the manifestation of the inner turmoil and misalignment of the other person, we can let go of any personal feelings attached to the issue and respond with clarity. This allows us space to respond to the issue without being controlled by anger. When speaking of hypocrisy, the Stoic way is to speak the truth with gentle words, not in an aggressive or accusatory manner. In other words, it is not to win or punish him, but to bring awareness to his contradiction. Doing it calmly prevents a clash against a hostile environment while others are challenged. A Stoic does not fight battles of ego. Instead, they keep their peace and let their words and actions speak for their integrity. When we approach hypocrisy with reason, we expose the truth without contributing to the chaos. By being a living embodiment of virtue and responding thoughtfully, we rise above the petty conflicts that others become trapped in, preserving our own tranquility while still confronting falsehood. The Stoic weapon against hypocrisy doesn't rely on aggression. It is rooted in integrity, detachment, and self-awareness. By living according to your principles, practicing self-reflection, and responding with calm reason, you will expose hypocrisy without losing your own peace. The truth, when it is embodied, reveals the contradictions others try to hide. Will you let hypocrisy dominate you, or will you walk the Stoic way of truth and honor above the din of lies? If you're ready to confront life with wisdom and unwavering virtue, subscribe to the channel for more Stoic insights. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and join a community dedicated to living with integrity and inner peace. The Stoic way of life is not just a philosophy, it's a practice that transforms everything.